Welcome back to another episode of Consciously Clueless. You're here because you want to learn about how to live a healthier life, how to live more sustainably, how to take your everyday actions and make them work for you and the planet. Sometimes it might feel like you've got this figured out, and other times you probably feel lost. That's why I'm here. Together, we will learn how to live happier, healthier lives without the need to be perfect, and always allowing space for a little cluelessness on this journey to living a more conscious life. Are you ready to hear some good news stories? Dive into the Healthy Seas podcast and meet the people doing all they can to help the seas and oceans thrive, from above and below the waves. Host Crystal DiMichelli talks to diverse fishers, experts, and more about what they're doing to protect our source of life and how you and I can help from wherever we are. Healthy Seas is a marine conservation organization whose mission is to tackle the ghost fishing phenomenon and turn this waste into an opportunity for a more circular economy. They do this through cleanups, prevention, education, working with partners who recycle and repurpose this material. This new show highlights their work and the work of their peers around the world. Go to forcesfornature.com/healthyseaspodcast to listen. If you spend any time on Instagram or TikTok, you might have seen this idea of de-influencing. There have been a growing amount of videos talking about this new trend of de-influencing. So let's talk a little bit about what that means. You're probably, I'm certain, familiar with influencing. You can call a lot of different things influencing depending on who you ask, but in some basic forms, if you're sharing links or products in a way that is promoting other people trying those products, then you are influencing, or you are at least attempting to influence others. So obviously, full disclosure, if you listen to this podcast, if you follow me, you'll know that there are brands I choose to work with because I believe in them with the information I have, and I like being honest about the products or things I'm using. So the things I share often are that. And so if you wanted to call that influencing, you could. The problem with influencing is that it is a culture of capitalism, right? Every video, especially on TikTok, it feels like I'm newer to TikTok, and this feels like what I've seen so far is that it is way more product heavy than Instagram in a different way. So it's a lot of promotions. It's a lot of the trends. It's a lot of the Stanley Cups and the AirPods Pro Max and like all the kind of influencer-y vibe daily vlog video images. That's kind of the idea. And so the problem with all of this influencing is it's still promoting over consumption. So it is still promoting us to buy shit we don't need often that will end in landfill or will lose or whatever else. So that's kind of the problem with all of the haphazard influencing, right? So in comes this idea of de-influencing. I was having a hard idea finding where exactly it started. So if someone has that information, please send it my way. But I see that it just kind of rose in the Reels and TikTok space of people talking about things you don't need. Like, hey, you know what you don't need is you don't need that Stanley Cup. Sorry to pick on you if you have a Stanley Cup, but it's an easy trend because it is so prolific for whatever reason. And all of these kind of like micro trends where things cycle through really fast. It's also like you're going to not have the cool thing soon, right? If that's something you care about, that's capitalism. You get caught in this endless cycle. So people started saying, hey, you don't need this. Let me tell you what you don't need. But in comes this ever-present need to sell. De-influencing became a way for people to just tell you what products to buy instead. So a lot of the trend turned into you don't have to buy this, I'll de-influence you so you buy this cheaper off-brand from Amazon. That's not exactly great either, as we know, for a whole host of reasons. So I guess you're wondering, why does this matter? And why does it matter? these conversations, these trends do show a pattern of sustainability, eco trends, that kind of thing showing up more and more. They are, of course, going to be twisted into capitalistic campaigns because that's the late stage capitalism world we live in. However, these small campaigns show that people are thinking about this more and more, and the internet is taking notice. So that is a good sign to try and find a positive in this. The problem, of course, is the continuation of overconsumption. I saw an article when I Googled de-influencing that said 10 budget products that speak to de-influencing. That's not the goal, right? That's just still making you buy shit. So that, of course, is an issue. Do I think that this trend is going to change the world? No, not necessarily. But it is cool to see things like this pop up more and more and more. I would love to see de-influencing continue to try and be a space where people can tell you things you don't need. Like maybe someone tells you because they started living more minimally, they actually don't use products anymore, or cooking in a more sustainable way means they create less waste. Those are cool ways to talk about de-influencing people. And if you have a product or you have a desire to be de-influenced and shop secondhand or find a sustainable option, that's cool too. It's not a trend that I think is going to save the world. It is something cool to take note of because when things like this gain traction, it means that all of us who are trying to talk about this more and more see it growing in the public eye, and that's always a good idea. Sometimes I will use this space to be honest and maybe influence you into things I've tried that I think are successful, or products I enjoy that I would suggest you try. Sometimes I'll try and de-influence you into buying less, consuming less, living a more conscious, aware lifestyle. Because I think actually both of those are going to help us move forward. There are a lot of things we don't need to buy and a lot of trends we don't need to buy into. But there are things along the journey of living more sustainably and living in a more conscious way that you do need to find some of those alternatives. So both of those things are going to help us moving forward. What do you think? Do trends like this, de-influencing or influencing, matter? Did you even notice this one? Is it maybe just in the spaces that I follow? I want to hear from you. What do you think? Thanks for listening to another episode of Consciously Clueless. If you're enjoying this podcast, please subscribe, share with your friends, put it on social media. Don't forget to tag me. If you're on Apple Podcasts or Good Pods, leave a review. Reviews and shares help more people to see the podcast and join in on the fun. If you want to make sure to stay up to date on future episodes, follow me at Consciously Carly on Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, or Pinterest, and head to consciouslycarly.com to sign up for the newsletter. Ready for more conscious living content? Check out patreon.com/consciouslycarly and join the exclusive community over there. And finally, if you're ready to take better care of yourself and the world, let's work together. Click the link in the show notes to head to the website, find out more, and schedule a free discovery call with me. Chat soon! At this point in my sustainability journey, I have tried lots of products. Plain Products is a clear winner not only with their product, but their mission to eliminate single-use plastic from the bathroom. Offering a line of toxin-free personal care products, Plain Products come in aluminum bottles that can be sent back and refilled time after time. Seriously, it's so cool. All of the products are vegan, non-GMO, cruelty-free, biodegradable, color-safe, and free of parabens, sulfates, and toxins. So it's good for the body and the planet. Get 20% off your first order of Plain Products with code CARLY20 at plainproducts.com. That's CARLY20. Get sustainably clean today.